Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Relics, and today I have for you guys my reaction to Game 2 of the first round of the NHL playoffs for 2026 between the Kings and the Avalanche. It was a very nerve-wracking game. If you guys saw it, you guys know that this game was 0-0 all the way through until the third period. Very close scoring either way. Kings, Avs, both putting it all on the line. Overall, it was a much better game for the Kings than the first game, in my opinion. The first game, I did criticize them for not playing more up-tempo than they should have, and therefore they didn't capitalize on their chances, and they ended up giving up the game in the end because they just couldn't score anything. Same thing kind of happened here. Like I said, score was 0-0 going to the third period, and then both teams scored. The Kings scored first, however. We got the first goal, and it was a beautiful goal on the power play by none other than Panarin again. However, even though power play worked against the most offensive team in the entire NHL this past season, it still didn't matter. We still have not scored even strength, and the Avalanche ended up winning it in the overtime first overtime. So, what can we take away from the game? Kings did a much better job as far as putting pressure on the Avalanche. I felt like compared to Game 1, way better offense, much better forechecking. Even some of the back checking was much better. Heck, I even thought some of the bottom liners were playing phenomenal hockey as well. However, at the same time, that third period, though, things just broke down. It's not to say that they didn't have breakdowns earlier in the game as well. We had that 3-on-1 Avalanche attack coming at us with Mikey Anderson breaking up the play at the last second with a very small tip, just enough to break up the play. But things like that came here and there for the first two periods. But in the third period, I felt like defensively the Kings definitely broke down a little bit more. They were taking a couple more chances, which led to more chances against as well. And then, of course, I also think typical Kings, once we got that go-ahead goal to take the lead, they're just going to hold on to that, and that's it. They're done. They're no more offense. And I do think after getting that goal, the Avalanche definitely put a much more push for that tying goal, and the Kings just sat back and just let them do what they wanted to do. So I do think that's a little bit disappointment because that's just typical Kings hockey. As soon as they get that lead, all they want to do is hold on to it. They no longer put the offense on. And then, of course, Avalanche got the tying goal, and then they tried again to try and get some offense. But again, that's just too late. So what else happened? If you guys missed it, you guys missed a just about under 16-minute game delay with the glass breaking behind the Kings bench, specifically on top of head coach DJ Smith. That was a scary moment, obviously, for the coaches and then, of course, the players themselves. But it's just kind of concerning that the fans themselves, if you look at the replay from the bench replay camera, you guys can clearly see that some of those fans can reach above the glass. To me, that's a security risk. That is crazy that some fans can actually reach over. Hell, they can even drop something on top of the coaches. That's concerning. I think that needs to be, remedied as soon as possible. But the glass was just swaying. You look at the slow motion replay of the glass moving back and forth. That was slow motion that I was seeing in some of the broadcast views. And then you see in live action speed, oh my god, that thing was just swinging like there's no tomorrow. That's unbelievable. I'm not saying the fans are bad. Nothing to insult Avalanche fans. But as far as a security risk, that glass breaking, that's scary. It should not be allowed to be like that, yet alone being able to reach over. So that's just my opinion on that matter, but that had nothing to do with the game. In fact, it technically helped us. The Kings were just about to go on the PK, and the glass broke. 16-minute delay. Technically, I get it. Avalanche power play kind of sucks this season anyways, but I think we technically had the momentum boost from that break because shortly into that power play, the Avalanche took a penalty with McKinnon getting an interference call on Mikey Anderson, and we went 4-on-4. Now 4-on-4 is not exactly great for us because we don't have the capability to score 4-on-4. The Avalanche do, but with McKinnon in the box, it kind of evens out the playing field, and then we got another power play, and it kind of just led to another thing here and there. But overall, I think the Kings, handled all the pressure situations pretty well, and I think overall both teams had chances. I can't say one team had more chances than the other. I think, yes, the Avalanche had probably more the advantage throughout the most of the game, but Kings just had as many chances. Like I said in Game 1 too, Game 1 as well, the Kings could have took the lead and ran with it. There's so many opportunities that the Kings could have scored, but we missed the net, we get bad bounce, block shots here and there, missed open nets, things like that happen, and, it's just hockey. It is just hockey. So in any case, let's take a look at the scores and everything in general. So again, as we saw, we lost 1-2 in overtime. And then, again, Panarin on the power play with Moore and Byfield. It was a great pass by Moore. Very solid. I believe it was a backhand pass, no less. Right to the front of the net, crossed in front of everybody, right to Panarin for practically an open net. It was beautiful. But then, of course, Landeskog and Nick Waugh, getting the goals to win the game. If we take a look at the shots on goal, yes, it's a little bit lopsided with the Avalanche coming out on top 36-25. Once again, both goalies putting on a clinic. They were fantastic. Forsberg was just solid in net. I think overall high danger chances, Forsberg definitely faced more than Wedgwood did. But again, the goalies are the stars of the entire series so far. Both Forsberg and Wedgwood are phenomenal. So there's that. Shots really didn't matter to me as much as what opportunities both teams got. And I felt like both teams got kind of equal amount of chances. Just Avalanche had more possession. Face-offs in our favor. Honestly, just like the first game, key face-offs play a huge part. I believe it was on the Landeskog goal. The face-off was a key part. I believe Lawton did win it, unless Landeskog shot it back towards the boards, and then all hell broke loose. Lawton honestly looked very confused on the play. As soon as he won or lost, whatever you want to say, the face-off, he kind of just stood right there in the face-off circle, just like circling around, not even moving his feet. He didn't watch the guy who scores the goal, and therefore we get scored on. And I think, unfortunately, Lawton's line with Armia and who's playing with him, I forget. Oh, and Wright. I think their line has been the weakest thus far in the series. Specifically, Lawton and Armia. I feel like they're not focused in. They're not dialed into the game, and they're missing opportunities to either score or make defensive plays. Specifically, in this case, Lawton didn't cover his man. Power play, again, 1 for 5 for the Kings. They scored their only goal in the game on the power play, which is great. But again, you won't win any game unless you score 5-on-5. Rather, even strength, even if it's 4-on-4, which we've seen a couple of those now. So Kings need to really capitalize on not only all of their power play opportunities, but they need to start scoring even strength, because unless we do, there's just no way we're ever going to win, yet alone get past this round and then go face other teams. This is just one team. We can't just only score on the power play. That needs to change. And then, of course, the Avalanche going with 0 for 3 on their power play. As we know, for some reason, their power play is not strong. No offense to the Kings PK, of course, but I do think the Avalanche will eventually get their goals on the power play, and it's going to pay dividends if we do not score even strength for the Kings. So we'll see how that goes going into the future. Penalty minutes, it's whatever, hits, even though the Avalanche ended up with more hits, I definitely think the Kings hit more. I don't like the hit counters on NHL stats. I don't think they calculate correctly. I don't know who's doing it, analysts or whatever, whoever's calculating the hits, I don't think they register every hit. I definitely think the hits were more in the Kings' favor. They were a lot more physical going into this game, and I was very happy for that, especially from the bottom liners. Very, very impressive stuff coming from them. Block shots were even 26 aside. As you guys can see, both teams are blocking shots. It's very defensive style hockey from both sides, which is very insane. Obviously, we expect it from a Kings team, but the Avalanche, I'm very impressed. I don't watch Avs games. I don't care about the Avs. I just know they're that good. But defensively, I did not expect this kind of defense. Very solid. But as you guys can also see, giveaways, the Avs, I even looked at it during the second period. The Avs definitely turned over the puck a lot more, going through most of the game. But again, just as the game goes along, technically the Kings will face fatigue way more than Colorado does. Mostly because A, we're in their building, so they're used to the high altitude kind of atmosphere, so it's a little bit easier for them to adapt. And then B, it's home ice, right? It's a home ice advantage plays a part. I definitely think endurance-wise, the Kings just don't have it. We've seen it all season long. We've seen it through the past seasons as well as the age of the players as well. The Kings are just not as young as they used to be, and therefore their endurance overall, even the young guys too sometimes, it just isn't there. And therefore, the longer the game goes, the harder it will become to score. And therefore, if the Kings don't get that lead earlier, it is much harder for them to keep it, yet alone catch up and play comeback. So, to me, I think everything was just screaming in the Avs' favor as the game went along, regardless of the chances going back and forth. But I think overall, I cannot say that the Kings played bad. I honestly thought they played a great game. In fact, I thought this was probably one of their best games of April, even though we only scored one power play goal and still lost in overtime. I still think that this is one of their better games. I was very impressed until towards the end of the third period. But for the most part, it was almost a complete game, and it's very unfortunate that the Kings didn't win this game. Had we even up the series 1-1, there is a way higher chance the Kings actually could win their games back at home. But having lost both in Colorado, honestly, the pressure is on them to even play harder now. I don't think the Kings are... I'm being completely honest. As a huge Kings fan, as you guys are Kings, because we lost this game, I don't see us winning, yet alone both games at home. I just don't see it. Again, both our goals. One goal in first game, one goal in the second game. Both coming on the power play, both coming from Panarin. If we can't score with our other players, yet alone even strength, there's no way we're going to win a game. So, there's my opinion on the matter. But overall, it was a really good game. I thought it was fantastic. If the Kings can keep it up, they can do much better. But otherwise, yeah, we're going to get swept. So, we will see how things turn out in the end. I'm a little bit optimistic about how things will turn out. But, based after the second game. But overall, if history has shown us the Kings don't exactly get better. If the Oilers series from the past 4 seasons have shown us anything, the Kings do not get better. In fact, we just kind of mellow out and do the same stuff as always. And therefore, I don't see us winning. But I would love to see the Kings prove me wrong, prove the world wrong, and break everybody's NHL playoff brackets. Because I'm pretty sure 99% of the world have the Kings losing in maybe not 4 games, but just losing the first round in general. And that would literally break everyone's brackets. I would laugh. In any case, but that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button. Comment down below what you guys thought. Do you agree or disagree with my opinion of the game? Again, I thought it was a phenomenal game. Just the Kings need to do better, even strength. And regardless that, they had chances, they need to learn to tuck it. We need more front net presence. Is one reason why I miss Corey Perry, because at least he knew how to get it done in front of the net. Multiple times, the Kings had opportunities to just throw a guy right in the front of the net and then get the puck on net for a rebound chance. But no, instead, we're all just cycling around the net, around the boards. We don't want front net presence, and that's just never going to work. We need to change things up. And unfortunately, the Kings they don't learn. They don't learn. And I think that's going to be, the detriment that will pretty much end us. But we'll see. We'll see what they do in Game 3. I expect some line changes, perhaps. Maybe not goaltending change. I think Forsberg has more than earned his spot to play goaltender. But I am expecting some line changes. Maybe even Kuzmenko making the lineup now that we've lost 2 in a row. We need a little bit more scoring touch, so that might be required. But we'll see. That's it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. Go Kings, go! And I'll see you guys after Game 3. Alright? Bye-bye.